Hello, folks. We're live. Welcome to Stout Sunday or Stout Porter and Stout Sunday. I'm in Louisiana. Michael Komaroff, the Stout King, is in Brooklyn, New York City, New York. We're reviewing some things today. We may have some more people joining us. Sorry for running late. They changed the time for church. It used to be at 7:30. Now it's at 8. So it goes about an hour. So it kind of puts me up against a time wall. Because when I have a new stout and it's only one can or bottle, I got to do a solo review, and then the time gets away. It's difficult, but you say, well, that's just an excuse. Yeah, but it is a true excuse, and it's a reason. I'm gonna do the best I can, y'all. All right. So I have a product that was sent to me from Wayne, sent to me by Wayne from Pennsylvania. It's Wolf King. I guess they're playing off the Victory Storm King. And this is the Wolf King. And it's 8.2% oatmeal, Imperial Stout with oatmeal and coffee and oatmeal added. Hello, Maxwell. Maxwell is a loyal viewer from Russia. He even joined the broadcast a couple of times. Now, Michael has something.
This is from the limited release Harpoon Dunkin' series. It came in a 12-pack, and this is their Dunkin' Midnight, which is a porter, and it's 6% alcohol. Harpoon is an employee-owned company that brews in Boston and also in Vermont, and it has a lot of distribution in the country. Unfortunately for Jay, it does not get good distribution in Louisiana.
Not anymore. Used to. 10 years ago, you could get so many different Harpoons. Then it started to fade. And now, if you see it, you're lucky, but you probably won't see it. All right, so let's go to this format. I poured it because I had to do the solo review. I still have to write the solo review. So I have to save some of this, but I know what I'm going to say in it. Had a fairly thin beige head of foam, but this is a wide brim glass. So if I had a narrower glass, it would be thicker. The aroma, well, I'll show y'all the website real fast. I like to do this on this thing, and then I'll put the banners up. They don't say much about it. All it shows is this, Wolf King, showing the canned label again. They also have it in bottles. Brewed with shade-grown organic Costa Rican coffee, ABV 8.2. That's all you get. Now, so for all I know, they could be using Quaker oats out of a box. And who knows what coffee brand? Obviously not a brand that's going to share any profits with them because they're not identifying the company. So that's fine. They don't have to. That's all they show. There might be 2 other video reviews for this. It's not widely distributed, obviously. So the aroma, dark roasted malts. Flavor is coffee. There's a little coffee in the nose, coffee in the mouth. Dark bread crust, sweetness. But I don't really pick up any oatmeal in the mouthfeel because, you know, oatmeal will give it a slimy taste. We hate to use that word. Velvety taste. Velvety feeling in the mouth. And there's a little coffee there, but it's really nice. But I'm going to go to Michael because I'll go more in depth in a little bit.
Okay, so again, this is the can. And the light is not great here because it's fluorescent, so it comes down on it. But anyway, Dunkin' Midnight. And it's funny, my daughter picked up this 12-pack for me at Costco because sometimes I don't go along, and she just reads all the beers that are there. And most of the beers in Costco, you have to buy a full case, which is 24. And as Jay knows, you can pick up a really fast supply of beer if you keep buying cases of it, and it gets out of hand quickly. So
Yeah.
when it can be a 12 pack instead of a case, that's at least, half as much, and 3 cans of each variety instead of 6. And that's certainly easier to deal with for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, that's pretty nice description on the website there that you have.
If you want to read that to people, they might appreciate that. It's very short.
I'm having trouble with reading it. Can you read it?
Sure. It's a wonderful website, by the way. Dunkin' Midnight, the beer that started it all, just got even better! Exclamation mark. This riff on our classic Dunkin' coffee porter is brewed with Dunkin's new Midnight Roast coffee. For some extra roasty aromatics, dark chocolate notes, and an espresso-like finish. Available only in the Dunkin' Dozen mix pack. 6% alcohol, IBUs not listed. Jet black with a beige head. Aroma is fresh brewed Dunkin' Midnight Roast, dark chocolate caramel, mouthfeel medium body. Taste chocolate covered espresso beans, toffee, raisins, molasses. Wow. Bittersweet finish with a touch of roast. And it's available in that 12 ounce can and the 12 pack only.
See, I guess something like this turns out to be a positive for them because they can get a lot of distribution of these 12 packs and they don't have to separately, make 6 packs of each of the items. So it's a one-time thing. They put it together in the 12 packs and they give it to their whole distribution network, whatever states they send it to. And we're fortunate, New York being just a couple of states away. So Harpoon is something that's always here. You can get, it's all over the place. So that's a very positive thing. And when Costco carries it, you get it at a good price too. The 12 pack was $15.99, which if you figure it out is $1.33 a can, which I think in our present market is a good price for a craft beer. So, I think it's a good deal.
I agree, because some of these prices are exorbitant.
Now you look at these 4 packs of craft beer that come from the smaller, breweries, and $16 for a 4 pack seems like it's the average price.
And that's
they go
not
higher than that. So it's
sorry about that, Kevin. Nail gun into your thumb. That sounds bad. Hope you get well soon. Genesee Ice and Cream Ale 30 packs. Yeah.
I wish I could get Jenny Cream Ale here. It's in my state, but because it's in Rochester, the local distributor here only deals with Jenny Regular and Jenny Light. Those are the only 2 beers that I can get from Genesee, which is very sad.
You're at the mercy of the distributor.
Because the cream ale is a fine product, and I wouldn't be afraid to buy a 12 pack of something like that. I really like it. It's a good beer, but unfortunately, I wouldn't buy a 30 pack of it because I'm not a mass beer drinker anymore. When I was younger, I might have been willing to buy 30 packs. 30 packs must be, and maybe Jay, you can answer this. When were the first 30 packs of beer distributed? How long ago? Because when I was younger, there were no 30 packs.
It's a good question. I don't remember seeing them until about 15 years ago, honestly, and not often then. But then they started showing up, and people called them bricks, and because it was always the biggest size I ever saw up until, like I said, 15 years ago, or even less time than that, was the 24 packs. What they
right. We've always been able to get 24 packs of several different things. Yeah, even though I think 12 packs were probably more common, and 6 packs have been, forever. But I would buy Genesee Cream Ale if I could get it.
Yeah, if I think Genesee Cream Ale and Schlitz is probably the 2 best macro beers, because Schlitz uses those extra hops, and they give it a spicy hop. They went a little overboard for a while, and they were making it like an IPL. Then they dialed it back, and now it's just like a really hoppy lager. But it's much different than a normal blah run-of-the-mill lager. I might go buy a 12 pack of that tomorrow. All right, well, anyway, back to you. Sorry.
All right, so I'll give you my description now. This is what it looks like in the glass, and again, it's funny when we're doing darker beers like this, the light affects it less because you can see how dark it is even in this fluorescent light. So very dark brown color. The head is, I don't know, a half a finger, and it's going down. The head is kind of like a tan color, and you're getting good lacing, good head retention. And let me get a nose on it. Well, you're definitely getting the Dunkin' Midnight Coffee on the nose, and you can get some dark roasted malts as well. Has a very pleasant smell for sure, and it looks good in the glass, and that the carbonation is kind of coming up. You could see the way the head is forming, that it's got a lot of carbonation in it. This exact beer was brewed on the 20th of September, which means it's only about a month old. And that's another thing that's good about these 12 packs. They're fresh. Now, they're going to come out. It's going to be done in when it was one-time distribution, and then that's it. So I'm happy I got a chance to get a 12 pack of it. Let me get a taste.
Golly, I'd love to find that.
This is really good. Jay, this is really good. What they've done here, and I think this is, again, it's a freshness kind of thing. The coffee is so fresh that you're getting a really nice coffee taste with the dark roasted malts as well, and it's smooth, very well made. I'm really enjoying this.
My daughter lives in Birmingham, Alabama, and when I went to see her last year, we were rooting around at some local stores because she lives close to two major northeast to southwest highways, and well, let's see. One is a northeast to southwest highway. The other one is east to west. Sorry, but anyway, there's a lot of beer stores along those highways, and we went in one. Have a huge selection of beer, and one of the things they had was the Dunkin' Pumpkin Ale, way down in Birmingham. So it just goes to show you can find stuff.
Isn't it interesting, though, that Alabama, which is a bordering state to you, or 2 states away, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Gets distribution of this, and Louisiana doesn't, which is very strange.
Look, we did get the Dunkin' Porter, the Harpoon Dunkin' Porter about 3 years ago. And everybody was like, oh, yeah, that's really neat, and then you never saw it again.
Well, I actually think that what this is, the beer that I'm drinking today, is the Dunkin' Porter, but they're using this specific midnight coffee blend. And I had the Dunkin' Porter. This is better than the Dunkin' Porter was because, well, maybe it's the freshness too. It's very fresh coffee. So it's like
I get it now. Dunkin's got the new midnight coffee, so they figure let's push it through the collaboration with the beer company, right?
I guess that's what it is.
Instead of a medium roast, we'll do a dark roast. I even said that, hey, y'all stole my idea, because when I did my solo review, I said they ought to make a dark roast version. Those criminals.
I am very impressed with this. I mean, I really find that and again, it's not thin either. So it's a porter. I mean, they're calling it a porter. It's a porter, but it's not. A lot of times you'll get some porters that are thin, and this one is not. I would say it's medium bodied. The mouthfeel has a little bit on the a little bit thick, slick, not thick, slick.
Yeah. Slick.
But the smoothness is really nice. Now, again, if you don't like coffee, you're not going to like this because the primary taste is coffee. Like yours, it has a little bit of like bread crustiness too, but that's kind of like an offset. So the coffee isn't the only taste that you're getting.
Now, I drink coffee incessantly, so any beer with coffee is going to suit me just fine. Like
my wife, Audrey, dislikes coffee. She doesn't drink it. She doesn't like the smell of it. And if we have like coffee stouts, a lot of times if the coffee is the primary taste, she finds the coffee taste to be off-putting. Now, I said they're brewing it as a coffee stout or a coffee porter, so it's going to have the coffee thing. And when she rates these beers, it affects it. Not that she's punishing them, but she doesn't enjoy them as much because she doesn't enjoy the coffee. So it takes off. She likes chocolate. She likes chocolate as the primary taste better than coffee.
Yeah, and that's a real tricky thing when you're reviewing something, because A lot of times I'll watch video reviews. You probably noticed this too. And people will say, well, I'm going to give this beer a C- because I don't like pumpkin. Well, you know, that's not an indication that the beer is bad because you don't like pumpkin. You know?
Yeah, you can't, as a beer reviewer, you have to be fair to what you're reviewing. Now, admittedly, if you don't like it, you can take a little bit off, but you can't. We've discussed this deal where our pal in Virginia takes off a whole grade because they don't give the date, Greg. Now, again, that's up to him. If he wants, as a reviewer, say it doesn't have a date, I'm going to go from an A to a B and punish it. But as we've discussed, he's being arbitrary because of it.
Yeah, somebody must have run back and told him that we were complaining because he unfriended me on Facebook, and I was like, oh, what a tragedy, I never talked to him anyway.
Well, he responds. If I make a comment on his review, and a lot of times I'll make a direct comment, and I've done it 2 or 3 times, where I tell him, when you take the whole grade off, you're being arbitrary and whatever. And he came back and he said, they're my reviews. I can be as arbitrary as I want. Now, that just shows you that he's not consistent in what he's doing. I'm setting the tone by telling you that it has to be a date this way. And it doesn't work like that.
Sure, you could be as arbitrary as you want to be. And like I said, when the people went back and told him, oh, Ronald criticized your reviewing method and he unfriended me. Well, too bad. You're out there, you're public, you're making reviews, and you're saying, well, the beer is an A+, but I'm gonna drop it to a B+ because it doesn't have the date. Well, everybody knows you already gave it an A+.
It's ridiculous to even say that. And again, if he thinks that that's going to make the beer company put the date on it, like I'm the big beer reviewer and I'm the pulse beat of beer reviewing, then he just has to wake up and realize he's not that much. I mean, he's a beer reviewer like everybody else.
I don't know. People take things the wrong way every day of the week. I am not criticizing him I don't dislike the man personally. I don't even know him personally. How can I dislike him personally? I don't even know the guy. But you get up there on the internet talking about, I got 20,000 subscribers and I'm going to give it a bad date and it's going to shake they're going to be shaking in their shoes. I doubt they could care less, probably 99% of the time.
And also keep in mind that the whole beer reviewing community is such a small amount of people in the overall picture of beer that they would be taken into account, but no company would base it on any reviewer. I mean,
wouldn't think so. And it's too much baby cry out there, I think.
But I watch his reviews. I find what he says to be credible as far as his description goes. It's just I just don't like his rating system. I don't think it's fair. And look, I actually personally think it's very important for them to either put on the date or a Best Buy so you have a general idea how old the beer is. I'm with him there, but I couldn't see punishing a company on their product based on that. Because if it tastes good enough to be an A, then it's an A, and it doesn't matter when it was made or whatever. That's how I feel. I am amazed at how good this is.
Okay.
And I guess I'm very happy.
I never took issue with Greg's description of beer, his evaluation of quality of the products, his total approach to it. It's the same complaint you had. That one complaint.
Yeah, well, it's, like I say, he's a good beer reviewer. There's no problem. John says I do refuse. He's doing it not. John does it not for fame. I love it.
You liar.
For fun, not for fame.
He knows he's trying to be famous. That's why he's the beverage ramble. All right.
All right, Jay. So I'll come back with a number after we do a little bit more chit-chatting.
Now, Jean-Pierre, you're saying all that, but let's say you get so famous from doing beer reviews and you start to star in low-budget movies and somebody hands you a prop gun. Are you going to immediately shoot it or are you going to question what's going on? I'm just asking, for no particular reason. All right. Commerce Ozzy says, put the dang date. That chaps my chapstick. That's horse hockey. All right. Oh, talking about dates, guys. I got to save some of this beer so I can do my written review. Although I know what I'm going to say. I don't see a date. Oh my gosh. There is something on the side and it's all rubbed off. It's like 07621 and it has no meaning. This is like totally screwed up. Yeah, I was going to give this an A, but since it doesn't have a date, I'm only going to give it a B, even though it really is most excellent. So when you write down 87, it really means 97, Michael. So, sorry, but I'm going to bring this company to their knees and they're going to start putting dates. All right. And it better not be a Julian date either. It better say canned on month, day, and year. And I'm unanimous in that. Okay. Wolf King gets the score. We criticize and whatnot. But if we had a beer event, any of these people could show up at the event. We'd all have a good time. We'd be like, yeah, come on, drink beer with us. Tell us what you think. It wouldn't be like this. Oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you all. We don't think that way, I mean, me and Michael don't. Some people do because they're mentally disturbed. But anyway, here's my score, Michael, 97 out of 100.
Okay. And I do agree with you, too, about the dating. Lagunitas still uses the other form of dating on their bottles and their cans. And what's the point if people have to go onto the internet to figure it out? It doesn't make any sense. Why can't they just put a simple date?
You got to use the Rosetta Stone to figure out the date.
It's interesting, but it's not what, your beer drinkers want to do. They want to just look at a date fast and it be a regular date, and that's it. And I'm saying, if some people want to put Best by a certain date, that's okay also. But the interesting thing with that is, shouldn't people be able to decide how long they think the beer is good by a born-on dating, when it was made? Then you can figure it out.
I think they do it so that the consumer won't know the date, but that the distributor can figure it out, and that maybe consumers will just buy out-of-date beer, and the distributor be wise to it. That's the feeling I get.
I think you're probably right, because you've even told me sometimes when you've gone to look, you'll find with some of those Russian beers that they could be there on the shelf for like 8 months or a year. The Baltica and some of those
don't make any sense. That makes no sense, because those are the ones that clearly state bottled on this date, Best by this date. So it's clear. It's not a mystery. And they still leave it on the shelf a year out of date. And they taste terrible out of date. All right. Well, I'm ready for your score. If you got any more to say about the beer, feel free. Of course, this is not like
okay. So
prison.
I highly recommend that you buy the 12-pack, because that's the only way you're going to get to taste this beer. And it's not like it's that much of a financial deal that people can't afford it. I guess it could go as high as $20 maybe in a different location where you'd be paying a little bit more for the beer, but still not that bad for a 12-pack. I think this is exceptional. I'm really very fond of this one. I'm going to give it a 96. I don't remember what I rated the Harpoon. The other one was a Dunkin' Porter also, right? So it was using some of their coffee, but it wasn't the midnight coffee.
Yeah, it was like medium roast. I don't think you gave it a 96.
No, I don't. I probably gave it an A, but it might have been like a 93 maybe. But I can't remember. I could look at my book, I guess, and check it out if I wanted to. But this is decidedly better. And I think the reason it's better, it's a combination of the fact that it's fresh, it's a month old, and that the dark coffee makes it taste better. It's like it gives it like more of a roasty kind of edge. So I'm enjoying that.
Thank you, Ronnie. Yes, he said this is a pretty well-produced show. All right, you said it gives it a roasty edge.
It gives it kind of, in other words, in just about all porters and stouts, they tend to, the roasted malts are usually both in your nose and in your taste. This one is like, at least in the taste, you're really getting that roastiness, which I think is related to the coffee.
You're probably right.
and it goes down pretty well. It's 6%, and you really can't taste the alcohol at all. And that says something. So you're tasting the coffee as the primary element. And since I am a coffee lover, I have coffee every day. So I drink it in the morning, and then in my evening meal, I have left some of the coffee, and I make iced coffee for my dinner. So I'm having coffee twice a day, and I enjoy coffee a lot. And I mix coffee. I take, I don't grind the beans myself, but I do put two different coffees together.
Huh. I get a good deal on coffee at Walmart. It's pretty good. I think Folgers in New Orleans probably makes it for him. Now, here's what Ronnie said. He's being cheeky. What do you think of Bud Light, Michael? And I already gave the answer. I said he's always happy with it, especially when he's not drinking it.
It's not one of my favorites, but like I've said in the past, when I go to somebody's house, if that's all they have, I will drink it.
Right.
I'm not hostile to it. I actually think that it's a well-produced beer for what it is. It's a light beer, and whatever.
You just don't
Ronnie S knows that light beers are not my favorite item on the beer agenda. I don't even like the toned down regular craft IPAs at all.
Oh,
I find them to be almost, other than the Founders All Day, which I do like. I have to say that one has some taste. But the other ones, it's almost like when you lower the alcohol, they can't get that hoppy taste, that you want, that either the pine or whatever else you want doesn't come out as well.
It'd be like watching The Wizard of Oz in black and white.
But I'm enjoying this a lot. And I still have not had the pumpkin one from this 12-pack. I will be doing that on Wednesday on Jay's show. So that'll be the last one in the last of the four that I have. And I'm happy with it, with the 12-pack as well. I highly recommend this. If anybody can get the 12-pack, they should get it.
I agree. I would buy it immediately if I saw it. I was actually really curious of Michael's opinion on it, Ron. Thanks. I was just, well, there you go. You got his opinion. He said he thinks it's all right. Well, you heard what he said. If he was at a party and somebody had it, he'd drink it. But it's what I always say. It's really good for what it is. I just don't like what it is.
My daughter used to drink that as her regular beer, but it was kind of funny because she's not a beer drinker. So it'd be the kind of thing where she'd be, at a bar drinking, and that would be after they've had whatever they were drinking, mixed drinks or whatever. I think I'll come down by having Bud Light. So that was her vehicle to come down after, whatever she was drinking, which is interesting.
She used Bud Light to come down off of an alcohol high. All right.
But it's funny. She's 32 now, and she's just, she's past the point where she drinks a lot now. So she, how you go through phases in your life. So now she goes to a party, she'll drink, but she is not. Her fiance is a beer drinker, but she's not.
Yes, and he's even shown up.
He's been on. He's been on a couple of times, I think.
And he was there at the tasting when we had that fiasco at meetup. The meetup wasn't a fiasco. It was what led up to it. That was a fiasco.
See, I'm only sad, Jay, that because of the timing of the storm, you weren't able to get the first half of the beer tasting because there were some really good beers that you missed. And that was the sad part. Plus the timing factor, you came all the way up to see everybody, and the trip was like disjointed because of it. But that's, I guess you can't, Mother Nature does what Mother Nature does. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I know. I would appreciate it if tropical storms would not show up exactly at the same moment I arrive at the bridge to cross into New York City. I don't want that to happen again.
And you got to spend time with James, but it just changed the way the trip went.
Right. The ironically, if they wouldn't have been doing road construction on the highway leading from James's house to the bridge, then we would have gotten across the bridge before the storm hit and would have been down on the street level off to City Island. But then on the other hand, we might have been on the ground level when the storm hit and might have gotten in the flood and had the vehicle flooded, because some people there were cars with water over the roof of the car. So maybe it was better to be up on top of that bridge, the George Washington Bridge, than being down on ground level getting because they were saying on the radio, don't get off. Because they were saying, don't you people think you're going to get off on Jerome Avenue? No, what were they? Yeah, you can't get off there. It's flooded. And then they were saying, don't try to go this other way. It's flooded. It's flooded.
See, we have drainage problems whenever rain comes so quickly, and the sewers can't handle it. So you get all this flood overflow on the roads when it does happen. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, it can be pretty bad. And I guess the big storm that hit you also was Ida, right? That did a lot of damage in New Jersey. People, rivers overflowed. We had deaths in New Jersey, several in that storm.
49 people killed, and there was like 4 people killed down here.
But you had more property damage, I would guess, down in Louisiana. So, obviously you'd rather have property damage than dead.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's why you might hear those drills going on right now, because they're rebuilding the fence right now. Anyway, man.
Well, Jay, if you could somehow get a hold of the 12-pack, I would buy it.
I'm gonna be on the lookout. Who knows? Maybe Rouse's or Zupardo's has it. I doubt it though. But I'll look. I mean, I'll look. It's it'll be around till Thanksgiving at least. All right. Schlitz is better than Budweiser. I agree with that. I always thought that though. Your parents' basement was flooded. Michael had about, I think, an inch or 2 in his basement.
Yeah, we were down there with brooms. We opened up the drain and was shoveling the water out. And it just shows you we never flood in the front of the house at all, ever. So it shows you that the garden had to get so full of water that water has to find a way. And once it's so thick in the front, it has to come somewhere. And I guess at some point when our contractor does do work, he'll try to figure out a way to either thorough seal the bottom to block it better, because it was bad. It was bad. But
how long have you lived in that house?
37 years. That's maybe the second or third time we've had water in the front of the house in the whole time we've lived there.
Since 1984.
Very unusual.
Ronnie, yes, we're looking forward to seeing you on Stout Sunday as well. Your weather is
perfect. Johnson likes the West Virginia weather.
He moved out there. He said the weather's perfect. All right. Now, so we got 2 A's, 2 great beers. I don't know what the I don't know what the Rusty Rail Wolf King costs, because it was sent to me by Wayne. So I tell people, don't send me beer because it's a big expense and it's a lot of trouble. But he said, oh, no, I want to send it. I said, well, okay, I'm not going to tell people don't, I'm not going to explicitly demand that they don't send it, but I'm not encouraging them to do it. There's so many beers I can buy here. But here's a beer that I bet you'll never see. Well, I know you'll never see it because it no longer exists. It was really good, but, as usual, they didn't promote it in any way. So it went nowhere fast. And I was the only one that ever did a review of it. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive. If it was still around, I'd bring it on Stout Sunday.
When was that eliminated? You know the date that they stopped brewing it?
Yes, because the bottle says 2012. And that's the only year I saw it. I saw it in 2012. And by 2013, never saw it again.
See, I would have thought just the people who like the Killian Red would have all tried that. And they could have just, if they'd promoted it right, it would have done much better.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm wrong. It's 2012 and 13 because this says July 15, 2013. Well, that's the Best Buy, though.
Right.
So it could have been.
I never saw that beer, ever.
Neither did anybody else, apparently.
Never saw that. The Killian's Red is still available and brewed by Miller Coors, I think, right?
Under contract, yeah. If you can find it, it's brewed under contract from a brewing company in France. Now in France, they make Killian's as an Irish ale, 6%. But in the USA, it's brewed as an Irish lager at 5.2%, I think. All right.
So are we in our show and tell segment now? Are you going to show some more stuff and then I can get something to show too?
Yeah. Tuesday at dawn. And I know what Michael thinks about whiskey, and I don't take issue with that because people are not obligated to like things. regardless of what some people in the beer community and drinking community seem to think. But if you don't like, I always say, if you don't like it, don't drink it. I don't really drink alcohol, hard liquor. People might find that strange for me to say that, but I never actually drink it on purpose for its own sake. I literally only.
You're reviewing it.
Yeah, I only taste it and do taste challenges. I swear, I never come home from work and say, I'm gonna have a drink. Well, if I have a drink, it's gonna be beer. It's not gonna be this. And but people say, well, you do taste challenges 365 days a year, so you basically do drink whiskey every day. I say, yeah, but not on purpose.
And you're not drinking mass volume of it. You're having a shot.
Yeah,
or less than a shot, even just a
well,
small.
this much. Yeah, well, it's probably because this much of this one and this much of the other one.
I'm saying so. Maybe together it's a shot.
Yeah, and maybe sometimes more because I get the pouring. But that's Bay Street from Florida. When you think of Florida, you don't usually think of whiskey, but it's a distillery down there. Not well known, but it's and here's one from Kentucky called 75 South. This is the old label. They got a new label. I saw it yesterday at Savannah Discount. Yeah, it's okay.
I was saying it looks like you have enough for your taste challenge, and that's you're getting down to the bottom of the bottle there.
Probably got enough for about
a little bit. Couple of challenges.
Yeah, it's 3 more, and I'm not sweating it. This thing only cost me $4. No.
So that would be a bargain brand.
$5.99. Yeah, definitely a bargain brand. Both of them are bargain brands. $5.99, and that big handle bottle I just showed you is $13.99. Now, Wednesday we're doing pumpkin beers one more time. Friday we're doing Fandango Friday with liqueurs, but I know a lot of people are not into that, so they don't want to join. No offense taken. If you're not into it, you're not into it. It's simple as that. The only time I ever drink liqueurs is, guess when? Fandango Friday. Never any other time. So now it's off to Michael.
I'll be right back, Jay. 1 second.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's see.
Okay, Jay, I am back. Do you have Lidl stores by you? Lidl.
John did have a date today. Lidl, no.
Okay.
Nor Aldi.
Okay, so we have both. The Aldi's by me, though, do not sell beer. They do in Vermont and Connecticut, I know. They don't in New York State. But anyway, we discovered Lidl. I'd heard about it all summer. I've heard about it before. We decided to check it out. There's one in Astoria, Queens, which is about 35, 40-minute drive, assuming there's no traffic. And both times we've gone, we really have not hit traffic. But anyway, I went there the first time, and I bought a 4-pack of a Belgian triple, and I had it at the beer tasting a couple of weeks ago, and it went over pretty well. When I was there the last time, they had this beer, and I'll show it here. It's called Von Donken. It's brewed in France. They don't tell you who the brewer is, but I'm sure it's brewed exclusively for Lidl. So this is their house brand. It comes in a green bottle, as you can tell. So it's evoking memories of Heineken, at least in its look. Whatever. It has a little like a monarchy kind of look there with the red seal.
Yeah. They're trying to make it look like that.
Anyway, so I tried one of these last night, and I always try when I'm doing my own personal beer reviews to find YouTube reviews, which I watch as I do my own tasting. I couldn't find anything. I mean, it was just nothing on it.
That's good. Now here's your opportunity to start your channel because you can.
Okay, maybe, but it's funny. I was able to on one of the. So I went in Google and I Googled the beer, and I came up with another site where this group of 4 guys was doing a review of this beer because it's a bargain beer. Okay, so the normal price of this Von Donken, and it's an import, 11.2 ounce bottle, is in only available in Lidl stores because I think it's their brand. It's $6.49 a 6-pack, so a little over $1 each. But when I was there, it was discounted, so I got a 6-pack for $3.99.
Golly, show it again. Show it again and hold it steady. Show it again and hold it steady. Von Donkin Lock. You know what? To me, I think they're trying to make it look like Beck's.
Maybe. Okay. Now I'll be fair, and I try to always be fair. It's not one that I would buy again, and I don't think I would buy it again even at $3.99. But it's not like I'm going to pour them down the drain or anything. I'm just going to have an exclusive use. Probably is if I'm going to have 2 beers, it will be the second one I have, kind of thing. I'll have some good craft beer, and then I'll finish it off with the Von Donkin. The best way to describe it is it has what you would expect when you see a green bottle. You open it up, and it's all skunk. It smells skunk. It tastes skunk. It's not a quality product. So if you ask me what I rated it, I gave it a 75. So is a 75 in your range, Ron, a C?
Yep.
So it's a C beer. Now, I guess for 67 cents a beer, a C beer is okay. I guess that's how you have to look at it.
I guess, but
no, I tried it because on one of these rating things that I saw, they said it won a gold medal. Now, you know what it won a gold medal for? For the Lidl product line. They like the idea of having this green bottle looking like you say, Beck's or Heineken kind of thing. But like I said, I wouldn't buy it again. I have 5 more left. I may give one to somebody else to try, kind of thing. But it does not come highly recommended. So if you people who are watching, go into your Lidl store. They have a good selection. I think they have 37 different beers they sell. Do not buy the Von Donkin unless you like skunk beer. If you do, then buy a lot of it. And that's it. But, I'm giving it a C. And I'm not saying I'm being generous. It is a C. That's what it's worth. And,
I can get natural ice for 67 cents a can, and I can assure you it's higher than a C. So
I think you might give natural ice like a B. It's not an A, but
it's a B.
Well,
I don't know. I'd have to revisit. It's a pretty dang good beer.
I've had it before. It's a good beer, but I think it's more.
I'm not talking about natural light now. I'm talking about the ice.
No, I've had the natural ice. Maybe it's a B plus.
I went to get it.
To me, it's not an A beer, but
I went to get it today, but it was sold out.
But even in the macro beers, there are some good beers. I'm not going to say there aren't, and if I don't frequent them, it's not an insult to them. It's me.
Here's one from New Orleans. We can still get this one. It's a dry Irish stout.
Is that one of the ones you left for me? You brought beers up for James and me. Was that one? No, I don't think it was that one. You gave me one dark beer though, I think, when you came up.
I should have brought it though.
Maybe you did. I can't remember.
I brought 3 of them.
I can't remember if that was one of them or not. Yeah, they were Louisiana beers.
Yeah, I brought the same exact one for Alex that I brought for you because I didn't want, people saying, "Well, why you brought it for him, but you didn't bring it for me?" You know what I'm saying? I brought the same identical.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you bringing beers all the way up from Louisiana. I enjoyed them.
And here's an old bottle that a former beer video reviewer brought me one time.
Now that's the old bottle design on the Bourbon County before they went to their new. What would you call the new bottles with the top on the thing? It's different.
The 500 milliliters. I don't know what else to call them, but this is the 2014, and he brought it to me.
Look. I have to say, and I think John Anilli agrees with me that Bourbon County is my favorite barrel-aged stout of all of them.
Yeah, it's probably.
And I have given 99s to other beers other than that, though. So it's not the only one I've given a 99 to. I haven't given any hundreds, but I've given 99s, and I have given it to other beers other than that. But I think, and I've tried a couple of variants, which I did also like. I just don't like the price of the variants. It's almost like what they're doing is, I don't think it costs them that much more to produce it. They just look to make extra money. The Giants tried to steal the Reds in '57 before the Giants moved from New York. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Jay?
No, I never heard that before. Here is, and I used to keep up with that kind of history. Here's the current bottle design. I bought that Caramella Ale. It was very powerful, 14.6%. So if I wrote anything on Facebook after I reviewed it, don't blame me, blame Goose Allen. But I mean, come on. I paid $14.99 for a 500 milliliter bottle that they designed to taste like a caramel green apple. Do you really want to pay $14.99 for a stout that's designed or a flavored ale that's designed to taste like a caramel green apple that you buy at a county fair? I mean,
I'm with you. I am very disappointed in the variants that I've tried. I never tried. They had a coffee variant, which was supposedly amazing. I never got to try that in one of the other years. It was amazing.
Yeah, I gave it a 98. I gave it a 98. It was great. If you were looking to drink a 14.6% alcohol beer that tastes like a caramel dipped candy apple, but I don't know why you would want to do that.
In another year, and I think Giant Space Monkey and I tasted it, they had an orange one, which to me tasted cherry. We rated it very high, by the way, anyway, but it was not top end. It wasn't going to be a 99, but it was very good. But again, it cost twice as much as the stout, or 50% more than the stout.
Oh.
So you reach the point where if you're giving them extra kudos, so to speak, for putting extra flavors in, it has to be exacting, and sometimes it's not. I mean, that's my opinion of it. I really haven't had enough of the variants to say overall that none of them are great, because I would have to try more. John had a couple that he thought were really terrific. He had some blueberry one that he thought was amazing that he got, but he's limited in Georgia because most of them are over 14% alcohol, and that's all he can get in Georgia and most of the other southern states. You do realize that Florida and Louisiana are the only two southern states that have no limit on what the alcohol can be in beer. All the other states have limits.
You know what the limit is in Mississippi? 10%.
I'm saying, but that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
10%. So they don't get any Bourbon County over there. I went to David's yesterday, Michael, and he broke out one of the beer museum beers.
And what was it? I'm interested.
It was one of the younger ones. It was only 3 years old. It was 3.5 years old. It was KBS 2018.
And did you notice any difference in the taste of it than the standard KBS for sitting in the bottle for 3 years?
Yes. There was a little bit of a deficiency because I caught a bit of a chalky mouthfeel.
See, sometimes cellaring does not always give you all beneficial effects, and people should realize that. It can smooth out some beers, but it can create some other new dimensions which might not be positive.
I didn't find that it didn't
and
really
also say in coffee stouts, even the higher alcohol ones, you lose the edge of the coffee in a fairly short period of time when you sell them. But again, it depends on how you feel about coffee. If you really like those coffee beers, you drink them fresh, even the higher alcohol coffee stouts.
I found that it dropped a point. It didn't improve. But I mean, we still gave it a 98, but 2 years ago it might have been a 99. See what I'm saying?
Right. Now, as long as David has room in his museum to keep rotating those beers and whatever, then I guess it really doesn't matter. He can keep KBS for a while. It's not going to make that much difference.
You ought to see. If you see these boxes, it's terrible. Like, it's terrible. He'll tell me, look in my fridge and pick a beer. I say, okay. So I pick Black Albert immediately. Oh, not that one.
Yeah, he's trying to save the stuff he has because he's afraid he's not going to be able to get another one. I know the feeling, but if you think about it, you should tell him, enjoy it while you have it, because it could fade over time. It might not be as good if you wait.
I told him, what is the point of having a beer and not drinking it? Is that why you buy beer, to not drink it? I don't get that. I drank the Black Albert. It was one of the best beers I ever tried in my life. And it's like me telling him that makes him not want to drink it.
When John visited Anili down there and he was hanging out with David, he said he's a great character because he's different than everybody else. In other words, he's David, and that's it. So, he's your friend, so you know him better than anybody. But John said he was a trip because he doesn't know other people like that.
He's different. He's got an interesting outlook on these products.
I'm cellaring beers. I have beers that I'm keeping, but what usually happens? I'll go into my cellaring location and look at it, and I'll say that one's ready to go. I'm not going to sit on it anymore, and I chill it down and I'll drink it because look, you're here once, you may as well have a good time. Why do you have to load up with stuff that you're waiting?
I mean, what are you going to do? Drink it in the cemetery when you're in
No,
the
I'm
grave?
just saying,
Not you. I'm saying people that are saving. What are you going to drink it when you're in the graveyard? I mean, in the graveyard, in the grave.
I'm just saying that I'm 70 years old. I enjoy drinking beer, and it's okay to cellar it for a while, but you can't keep it forever. Try it, drink it.
I don't do it. I don't save any beer anymore. I drink them, and then I buy new ones, and then I drink them, and I buy more new ones, and I drink them, and I buy in an endless cycle. David is more probably into whiskey than beer, but he's still into beer pretty heavy. Wine, he doesn't drink that at all. I guess he said it gives him a headache. But he's something. Yesterday, I'll tell you one more story, and then we're gonna get off the air. Yesterday, we went all the way to Savannah Discount. He wanted to go to Savannah Discount. I didn't want to go. I said, I don't really want to go there. It's a long drive, and I have so much liquor, I don't need any. He said, well, I just thought it'd be fun to go see what they got. They might have a good deal. I said, well, I mean, I don't need anything. And he said, well, I'll drive. And I said, okay. He was insistent. I never had Atomic Penguin.
Me neither. I'm aware of the Sam Adams Utopia, but that's going for a couple $100 now. It's like 27% alcohol or something like that.
Yeah. He is a super cool fellow. So we he wanted to drive. I said, all right. So he drove, and then we went down there, and then he was complaining. They don't have any good sales today.
But that's the risk you take anytime you go. There's going to be an off time when they're not going to be that good. And
I said, well, I said, they have some good sales, but on stuff we don't buy, I said, well, they got this single malt scotch, which me and him both never heard of. It's $24.95, which is cheap because most single malts be like $60 to $80, for good ones. So this was $24.95, and we said we never heard of this, so we were scared to try it because we said it might be some off-brand, junk. So we didn't buy it. So it was bothering me all afternoon yesterday. I said, let me look this stuff up because I had a feeling. I said, I bet you this was from the people that own Jack Daniels because they said it was aged in ex-Tennessee whiskey barrels. I said, that's a good sign that it's from Jack Daniels people. Sure enough, I was right. I said, oh. So then I said, let's see what people are selling it for. Everybody on the internet was selling it. I'm talking about, stores that you can go to and buy it. They have websites, but you can go to the store and buy it. You don't have to buy it off the internet. Everybody had it for $60, $60. So I called David back. I said, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, but that whiskey is no joke. That's a $60 bottle, that they're selling for $24.99. Whoa. He says, whoa, I got to go back and get it. I said, well, we'll get it next weekend or something. I said, you don't have to drive all the way back, way down there to buy it. I said, they had about 60 bottles, literally 60 bottles. He said, I'm going back. They're going to sell out before I get back. I said, no, they're not. So I was sleeping sound last night, and somebody called me and woke me up. And guess who it was?
David made his trip. He had to get his bottle.
He calls me back. I got him. He got one for me and one for himself. I said, oh, Lord.
He was really afraid there was going to be a run on them, that people were going to just come in off the street and buy it all up.
I know what he would say. Yeah, because you'll be on Facebook running your mouth about it, and everybody else will go get it, and we won't get it. So he was paranoid about it. And but, well, he got it. So we got it. Well, I'll pay him back. Do I think the 2015 and 16 Valentine Burton Ale is still okay to drink? 8 of them in my fridge at 11%.
Bart, those are fine. Those are fine
wait.
for a long time. Don't worry.
I wouldn't wait any longer though. I wouldn't.
No, you should start drinking them, but they're fine for a while. They're high alcohol. They're fine.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say drink them now though?
If he can, if he wants to.
I wouldn't go too much further. All right. Now, any last comments, Michael?
No, I guess John will be back hosting Stout Sunday a week from today. And that'll be our special Halloween edition of Stout.
We hope so. It'll have to be jack-o'-lantern stouts. All right.
Jay, thank you for hosting today.
You're welcome. And so now you've got more pressure from us to start a channel, but nobody should start a YouTube channel under pressure. You should start it because you want to do it, not because people are nagging you to do it. You know.
What does David feel about Colt 45? Does he like malt liquors? And Schlitz VSL.
John knows the answer before he's asking the question. He knows David likes it. He's just trying to be provocative.
John who is what Ronnie said. See, you know what happens? John Anilli gets extra pressure from his viewers because if he misses a couple of weeks, it's like, this is a very sarcastic bunch that we're dealing with. So.
I've noticed that. All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching. Next week, John will be hosting it. We might have a whole gang of people on that one next week. So y'all take care now.
Everybody have a good week.
Yeah, and have a safe week. Last week of